have now discovered that my camera and everything is compatible with YouTube, so I can start making videos about what I wanted to. And that is my trip to Mexico. When I first got there, I was warned a lot about how I was going to get culture shock and how I was going to have trouble readjusting and or adjusting rather to their culture, and I was going to want to go home. And I was one of the, I think, 2 people that went on the trip that did not get those feelings. I never missed home. I never wanted to go home except to escape difficult situations. I never had a problem with their culture or adjusting to it. I just fell in love with it. Mexican culture just enveloped me, and I think I'm going back. I talked to the person that I stayed with when I was in Mexico, and he said to just let him know when I want to go down there. And so I'm really excited. Maybe I'll actually get videos of me in Mexico this time, and upload those, because that would just be really cool. I think I'm going to be going sometime during July, though, so it'll be a while. And, I don't know, maybe I'll find some kind of editing software and in that time, and so I can make a good video and post it on YouTube instead of these rants. But yes, I did have the reverse culture shock, coming back, and so that's why I really want to go back, because they say that's reverse culture shock is having a hard time with the culture here, your native country, and then wanting to go back to the one you were visiting. And that's totally true. And I know that a lot of the other people that went on the trip had that same deal. I guess I could just talk about a few of the things that I found odd when I went to Mexico, and things that people might not expect. For one thing, the whole Mexicans park on their grass all the time is not true. I didn't see anybody parked on grass, ever, for the 3 months I was there. And if somebody was parked sort of on grass, there were concrete slabs for the tires to actually be on, so they weren't on the grass. And even if they did park on grass, who cares? They have no room there. They have cars, but there's no infrastructure for their vehicles, so their roads are extremely narrow, and pedestrians walk in about a 2-foot space between the cars and a wall of a building, probably. And this is, mind you, this is in Cuernavaca. This might not be for all of Mexico, but this is what it was like in Cuernavaca, which is in the state of Morelos, and that's south of Mexico City by about an hour. And they don't have that infrastructure, so it makes it hard to navigate the streets when it's busy, if you're in a car. And there's also nowhere to park. So, there's tons of no parking signs everywhere, because people have gates in front of their homes that you have to get into and out of. And people will park even in front of those gates because they have nowhere else to park. And there's no parking signs. But what is a no parking sign going to do? They even have kind of brutal ones that'll say, if you respect my gate, I'll respect your car. That's a threat. But I guess I'd go there too if people kept parking in front of my gate and I couldn't get out of there to go to work. So that's one thing. Another thing is the cops there. I mean, everybody thinks that Mexico is the most corrupt country ever. Let me tell you something. Mexico is corrupt, but so is your government. Everybody's governments have a measurable amount of corruption. And the only difference is that you're ignorant to your own government's corruption because they keep it from you. And, the cops are more corrupt in Mexico than they are here, granted. But our government, they're corrupt. They do shit that they're not supposed to. And just like the Mexican government, okay? And so I hate it when I hear people saying, oh, Mexico's so corrupt. Because sure, the government is, but don't talk about the people like that. The people are not the ones that are going around, you know, okay, I can't generalize like that. But the people, for the most part, are not the problem. It's the government and the police. I know there's a lot of fear of the police down there. Whenever I would be in a store or something and police would walk in, everybody tensed up. They were afraid of them. And I grew to be afraid of them too because of that. And I don't know why. I don't know what we thought they'd do, but it was just a fearful thing because they're not necessarily always there for the greater good. Um, or even to just grab a pack of cigarettes. So, I don't know. Another thing, people often think about the water. Um, and yeah, it's true. The water there is pretty bad. The thing about it is that the water in Cuernavaca, anyways, the city provides a certain amount of water every day, and it fills up your water tank. And when this happens, the water is clean. The water that comes from the city is clean. The problem is the people's water tanks. They can't clean them properly, and whatever's in that water tank gets into the water, and so therefore now the water's dirty. And well, I mean, it's not necessarily visibly dirty, but it's not clean enough to drink. And even if you, I was there for 3 months and I never drank their water. I always drank purified water, but we still all got sick because they use that water to make other things, or the fruit has their water in it, or I don't know exactly how we get it, but you get that bacteria in you somehow, usually. There were a couple people that didn't get sick, but so yeah, if you do go there, don't drink their water. They can't drink their water either. It's not just tourists. It's just dirty water. If they have a clean water tank, they would probably be able to drink it, but it takes so much work to clean it that, they don't have time or the elbow grease to do that. What else? What else? What else? Oh, the buses there. I don't think this is anything new to most people, but it was new to me. And I don't really do a lot of public transportation here in America, and the buses down there, we rode them a lot because public transportation is really big in the city there, and they just get so packed that we'd have to tell people they couldn't get on. And it wasn't like, oh, it would be uncomfortable to let you on. No, they really couldn't fit. We already had as many people as we could crammed in. Sometimes people were hanging onto the handles and hanging out of the door. It was absolutely insane. They need to improve their public transport. But another thing, and I think this is going to be my last thing and then I'll wrap it up, is if you're going to a Latin American country or a Southern American country, you can't, well, you can, you shouldn't say America to refer to the United States, because they think of America as this whole continent. North America and South America is America. And so if you say you're American, you're from the Western Hemisphere pretty much, and they don't know where, they'll probably get it because a lot of Americans say it like that, but sometimes they don't, and sometimes they get a little confused, and so where are you actually, where are you from, what country? And so it's best to say Estados Unidos, United States. In Mexico, anyways, that's what they refer to it as. And instead of saying soy americana, you would say soy estadounidense. I'm a United Statesan, is pretty much how that translates. So that's more specific, and they'll actually get what you mean. Not that they probably wouldn't the other way, but it just makes you sound more culturally competent. I learned that when I went there, that I was saying soy americana, and they were like, oh, yeah, me too. So, yeah, that's about it. I'll probably make another video soon, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Bye!